Hello everyone, and welcome back to another tutorial. Today we will be looking at trace tables. Now we did some past tutorials as relates to pseudocode, IPO chart, Pascal programming, and data dictionary. So today we will be looking at trace table, which is another aspect of programming in which you need to know, and it's a very important thing that is used during programming. So you may ask yourself the question, what exactly is a trace table? So a trace table is typically a technique that is used to test algorithms, right? To make sure that there are no form of errors, right, within the calculations, right, of the programming. So for persons who were not a part of our past tutorials with our Pascal and pseudocode, please click on the link at the top right hand corner, because what we have been doing with these tutorials over the past couple of months is that we are using the same question and how we can arrive at different things using the same question. So we use the same question for the database, the same for the word processing, the same for the pseudocode and the IPO chart, the same for the data dictionary and the Pascal programming, and we will be using the same for the trace table. All right, so remember in our pseudocode, it said that the algorithm, right, it should have the options to add student, view all students, and so forth and so forth. All right, this is what the algorithm is requesting for us to do. All right. So we're going to use a trace table. We're going to create a trace table to make sure that all the calculations that should be executed by the program is executed properly. All right, good. So this says that design and execute a trace table that tests the pseudocode designed above, tests with 10 sets of data from task B of your spreadsheet. All right. So I already have my spreadsheet open, right? This is my task B, right? Where I have the ID, the first name, last name, gender, and so forth of the students, the subjects that they're doing, the amount of subject, the types, and the fee that they are paying. Now, when you open your Excel, right, or your task B, or any form of file that you open, wherever the information is that you're gonna need for your trace table, you can just open it, and then you have your trace table on the other side. So this trace table will be done in Excel. Let me zoom out so everything can be seen. I need to highlight these rows and columns. All right, so let me see. Borders, good. Now within this trace table, as you can see, let me expand this way. The registration fee, the subject fee, the practical fee, and the oral fee, which is also in the spreadsheet, as you can see right here in the reference page. Here it is. So registration fee, subject fee, practical fee, and oral fee. I have those fees here because what I will be doing, I will be having formulas within these cells that will pull the information from these two columns here, right, to get the necessary calculation that is needed. All right. And if you realize my reg fee right here and my subject fee, all of these are the same variable names that were used in the pseudocode. All right. All the names here in column A, right, are the same variable names used in my pseudocode. So make sure that is done. So if, for example, your registration fee was written registration underscore fee, that means in your trace table, your variable name for registration fee should be registration underscore fee. All right. And if you take a look at the table below, from count, choice, SID, F name, L name, M name, so forth and so forth, right to the point where you have choice equal 4, all of these can be found in the pseudocode and my Pascal program. All variable names in my pseudocode, in my data dictionary, and in my Pascal programming are all the same. Make sure there you have a level of consistency, because a trace table is being used to test the error. You yourself cannot cause an error here, because it won't be your information won't be accurate. All right. So after you have created your table looking like mine, right, and you have entered these everything in row 6, right? And for if you're using, depending on the type of program you are using, right, you know exactly what to put in there. For those who are using something different from the pseudocode and Pascal that I have shown in my past tutorials. All right, when you have that done, remember the question said they're going to do 10, they're going to test 10 datas. So it would typically be 10 student names. So your count should be from 0, because in the program we had initialized count as 0 first before the first student added. And once the first student was added, it started at 1. So that's the reason why 1 is here, 0 is here, and then 1 is here, straight through to 10. Then choice. Remember, in the pseudocode and in the Pascal programming, right, we created a menu, right? We had a menu in which the user of the program could be able to select different options. And in our program, choice 1 was the option to add a student, right? And as of such, we are testing the data for these students, so that's the reason why the choice is at 1. It starts at 0 because we initialized it at 0 in the program as well. If you realize at the end there's 4, and 4 is there because choice 4 was used as the exit choice in the program. So in this case, after we have checked all 10 students, the choice 4 will be there because we will no longer need to check anybody else. Only 10 the question asks for. So choice 4 will be there to show that it would have ended. All right, good. So the registration amount, right? If you realize we have equal $B$1, and that formula is used to pull the data that is located in cell B1, right? The cell address for this cell is B1 right here if you want to find the cell address. And when you know a cell is active is when it is highlighted like that. All right. So this right here, this formula, right, pulls this 2,500 to to cell address J8. All right. So when this is the formula that you should use, equal $B$1 right here for your registration. For subject fee, it will be B2 equal B2 times G8. B2 is subject fee 3,500 times G8. And G8 would have been the amount of subjects that student is doing. Practical fee, right, is a practical fee up here, which is 1,500 times H8. And H8 is how many practical subjects that student will be doing. Oral fee is the same thing, right? $1,000 here. B4, this is the cell address B4, 1,000, right? Times the amount of oral subjects that student is doing. Then you have a total fee, which is adding up the total of the registration fee through to the oral fee, because we are using a range in the formula. Function here we are using equals sum, which means to add, open bracket, J8 colon M8. J8 colon M8 is called a range, which means that this will be adding every single thing from cell J8 through to M8. Alright, good. Total collected from N8, right? Good. To O7, which is up here, 1. So you're typically going to add all the total and put it here. Sponsor. The sponsor is what will tell whether or not the child is eligible for a scholarship or not. The formula for that is equal if. Just like we use the if then and the if then else in the programming, because in programming it's called a condition statement. It is similar to the spreadsheet. If G8 and G8 now, which is the subjects, right? This is the column of the subjects right here. Look at my cursor, right? If G8 is greater than or equal to 8, Y, comma, N. Because remember that if the student receive 8 or more subjects, they are eligible for a scholarship. All right. So depending on whether or not they're doing 8 or more or less than 8, it depends on what they're doing. Then Y or N will be there. N representing no and Y representing yes. The sponsorship count. So that would tell how many persons, right, would be eligible for a scholarship or was eligible for a scholarship, right? And true or false will be about this side of the choice, right? For the student. So B8, this choice, whether it's 1 if each person was added, right? So every time each person was added successfully over this side, it will be true. So let us get into it and show you an example. So let me do a split screen. I go to my task B here. So I'm going to choose 10 persons, but I won't add 10 names. This is I'm going to add those 2 names just for demonstration purposes, so my viewers who are watching can understand exactly what I am doing. So I need the student ID, their first name, last name, middle name, subjects, practicals, and orals. That's all that is needed. All right. My students don't have any middle name here, so I'm going to leave that section out. So let us check here. Conway Blue. Their ID number is STD-27. Their first name, Conway, right? Last name, Blue. All right, let me scroll across to see how many subjects they are doing. Let me see which row this person is in first. Row 4. All right, let me go across now. So they are doing 7 subjects. 7 subjects, good. Number of practicals is 3. Number of orals is 2. All right. Anytime you add numbers and you see these pound signs or number sign, it means that your cell is just too small. So you can double click up here, right here, until you see that cursor. You see 2 arrows, one pointing to the left and one pointing to the right, and you double click, and you double click, and then there you go. Now you realize after I add the number of subjects, practicals, and orals, everything else was filled out because the formula is already there. So here you go. Sponsor, no. N, because why? This person is doing 7 subjects and the formula said at 8 or more. So that's the reason why sponsor is N. Sponsor count 0. It is 0 because this child is not eligible for a scholarship. Let us use an example of a person who is doing 8 or more subjects. All right, let me see now. All right, column 10, row 10, I should say. Nicholas Henry. All right. Oh, my bad, wrong place. And his ID number is ST-15. Alright, and his last name is Henry. Okay, good. Number of subjects 9. Let me scroll across. Number of practicals 3. Number of orals 2. Now, if you add those in, right, in Excel, as I summarize, everybody will know this. All you have to do is just pull this down or double click, right, and you will get all the necessary. So you can add in all the person's names, their subject, their practical and oral first. Then you can just double click, right, at the bottom right hand corner of our active cell, and everything will fill out for you. All right. These numbers that you're seeing here would change as these add in, as you add the different students. So don't worry about those. All right. So if you realize, Nicholas did 9 subjects right here, 3 practicals, 2 orals. His registration fee 2005. The subject fee is 31,500. Practical fee is 4,500, and the oral fee is $2,000, and a total of 40,500. Right? That's the total fee, and every single thing came up to $74,000. And yes, there's a Y there, which means that he is eligible for a scholarship. And you see the sponsor called 1 because he is the first person. He's counted as one of the individuals who will be receiving a scholarship, right? So that is how a trace table is done, right? You can fill out the other 8, right? And you will see exactly how it works. All right. If you realize over this section, there are true, and false here. The reason for that is because choice 1 was chosen for 1 to 10. Right? So yes, choice 1 was chosen. That's why it's true. The reason why you're seeing false there is because it is not choice 1, but choice 4. Right? So you will see false right there. And once the computer reads it as false, then the program will close. Just like in the pseudocode and in the Pascal, choice 4 is for exit. All right. I hope everybody who's watching this understand exactly what a trace table is and its importance, and you can practice this. All right. For other videos such as these, please click on the link at the right hand corner. Please remember to subscribe to E-Tech Jamaica for more content like these and comment about the tutorials. Your comments are very important to us as it will help us to improve the way in which we deliver our content to you. Have a wonderful day.